boys and girls of grade 5. How have you been? I hope that you have been staying safe and healthy and also doing lots and lots of revision. Welcome once again to our mathematics class. My name is, of course, Miss Yulita Brown Phillips. Today, I will be taking you through the adventures in mathematics land. Are you ready to take this adventure with me, boys and girls? Come on, let's go. Grab your pencils, grab your notebooks, fasten your seatbelts. We are about to take an amazing journey into the land of mathematics. For our lesson today, we will be looking at a special kind of fraction. We will be looking at addition of mixed numbers. So, let's take off. What is a mixed number? A mixed number has a part that is a whole number and a part that is a fraction. For example, 1 3/4. Look at the representation. You see the whole and 3 parts shaded out of the other whole. Let's examine some terms associated with addition. Do you remember some of the terms when you see them, you know that you have to add? Could you list some of them? Let's look at them. Sum, total, add, altogether, increase, combined, in all. Boys and girls, when you see these, you know without a shadow of a doubt, you have to add. Let's do a quick recap before we get into the meat of the lesson. I want you to add the fraction below. 2/4 plus 1/4. Let's see what you have. What do you notice about those two fractions? Yes, they have the same denominators. Boys and girls, we can only add fractions once the denominators are the same. 1. Secondly, remember we said we only add the numerators of the fractions, but we never add the denominators. Solution. We replace our common denominator, which is 4, and we add the numerators, which are 2 and 1 respectively. 2 plus 1 will give us a total of 3. So the answer you should have is 3/4. Do you have that, boys and girls? Great. Put a big tick there. Let's do another one. 4/8 plus 7/8. 4/8 plus 7/8. Do that quickly for me, boys and girls. Are you finished? Let's see what you have. Are our denominators the same? Yes, they are. So we only add our numerators. What are the numerators? 4 and 7. 4 plus 7 over 8. 8 being the common denominator. 4 plus 7 equals 11. So we have an answer of 11/8. But boys and girls, I'm a bit curious. Could we put 11/8 on the answer line? 11/8 is an improper fraction, and we know that to write our answer on the answer line, it must be written in the simplest form. So let's change 11/8 to a mixed number. How many groups of 8 are there in 11? Yes, one group of 8 with 3 remaining, or with 3 as the remainder. So our answer is 1 and 3/8. 8 being the common denominator, and we always replace it. We will now look at addition of mixed numbers with like denominators. Here is an example. If James has 2 1/8 pizzas and Jane has 2 5/8 pizzas, how many pizzas do they have all together? Solution. Remember, in mathematics, we start from the known and we work towards the unknown. What do we know? James has 2 1/8 pizzas. We know that Jane has 2 5/8 pizzas. And we want to find out how much they have all together. Together, they have 2 1/8 plus 2 5/8. Let's examine our denominators. Are they the same? Yes, they are. So boys and girls, the first thing we do, we add the whole numbers. What are the whole numbers in this problem? 2 and 2. So we bracket it off. 2 plus 2. Remember, our denominators are the same, so we only add our numerators. We place our 8 below the line, and above the 8, 1 plus 5. Let's continue working. Next step. We add the whole numbers. 2 plus 2 will give us a total of 4. Then we add the numerators. 1 plus 5 will give us a total of 6. 6 over 8. 8 being the common denominator, which must be replaced. So the answer is 4 and 6/8. Boys and girls, could we write that answer on the answer line? Is it in its simplest terms? No, it's not. The fraction 6/8 can be reduced to lowest terms. What can we reduce that fraction by? What number can be divided by 6 and 8 without leaving a remainder? Yes, 2. 2 into 6, 3. 2 into 8, 4. Our answer is 4 and 2/3. Now we can write that on the answer line. Here's an activity for you to do. 8 and 4/11 plus 2 and 3/11. Get that done quickly, boys and girls. And remember to do neat work. Your work says a lot about you. Let's see what you have. What is your solution? We have our whole numbers. 8 plus 2. We bracket that and we have our numerators 4 plus 3 over 11 because they have the same denominators. Next step, we add our whole numbers. 8 plus 2 will give us a total of 10. We add the other part. 4 plus 3 will give us a total of 7. So our answer is 10 and 7/11. Boys and girls, could we write that answer on the answer line? Yes, we can. That answer is written in its simplest form. Do you have that? Put a big tick. Moving on. Let's add mixed numbers with unlike denominators. Let's look at the steps. The first thing we do, we add the whole numbers. Secondly, we make the denominators common by finding the LCM. Boys and girls, remember, we cannot add fractions unless the denominators are the same or unless the denominators are common. Then we work out the problem by adding only the numerators. We never add our denominators. Let's look at an example. 7 1/3 plus 2 1/9. Boys and girls, take note that our denominators are not the same. The first thing we do, we examine the denominators and identify the smaller denominator. And we ask the question, is the greater denominator a multiple of the smaller one? Or what can I multiply by the smaller denominator to get the bigger denominator? If the answer is yes, the greater denominator is the LCM. If the answer is no, we multiply the two denominators and the answer becomes the LCM. So let's look at these two denominators. Is 9 a multiple of 3? Is there anything you can multiply by 3, which is the smaller denominator, to get 9? The larger denominator, which is 9, is a multiple of 3. Because when we multiply 3 times 3, we get a total of 9. So therefore, the greater denominator, which is 9, is the LCM. The next thing we try to do is to make our denominators common. We know that 9 is the LCM. What are our denominators? 3 and 9. At this point, we will make the fractions equivalent. What multiplied by the denominator 3 will give us 9? 3. And in mathematics, when working fractions, what you do at the bottom, you do at the top. And we multiply the top by 3. 1 times 3 will give us a total of 3. So for 1/3, we now have 3/9. Let's look at the other fraction, 1/9. What multiplied by 9 will give us 9? 1. What we do at the bottom, we do at the top. What number is at the top? 1. 1 multiplied by 1 will give us 1. So the equivalent fraction is 1/9. So now we have 3/9 plus 1/9 because we made the denominators common. Now we can add. Let's add our whole numbers. 7 plus 2 equals 9. 3 plus 1 equals 4. And we replace the common denominator. Boys and girls, could we write the answer 9 4/9 on the answer line? Yes, we can, because it is already in its simplest form. Let's examine another way we can work this problem. 7 1/3 plus 2 and 1/9. The first thing we do, we add the whole numbers. Secondly, we find the LCM of the denominators of the fractions. How do we do that? We list the multiples of both denominators. Boys and girls, many of you may know this method of adding mixed numbers or adding fractions. Either way, you can use whichever way is comfortable for you. Next, we divide the LCM by the denominator of each fraction. Multiply the answer for each by their respective numerators. Add the numerators only. Make the LCM the denominator of your answer fraction. Be sure to write your answer in the simplest form on the answer line. That is, you reduce it to lowest terms, or you change improper fractions to mixed numbers if necessary. Let's see how we will work this method. Firstly, we identify our whole numbers, 7 and 2. We bracket them. Of course, our denominators are not the same, so we make them the same by finding the LCM. 3 and 9. Let's list the multiples of 3. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. We don't have to list all the multiples. It's advisable that you list the first 5 or 6 multiples. Let's list the multiples of 9. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45. Which number is the LCM? Yes, 9. 9 is common in both numbers, the multiples of both numbers, and that is the smallest number. Next step, we divide the LCM by the denominator. LCM, 9, denominator, 3. 3 into 9, 3. We multiply that answer by the numerator. The numerator of that fraction is 1. The answer was 3. So you bracket it off. 1 times 3. Plus, you replace your plus sign and we go to the next fraction. 9 into 9, 1. So 1 is your answer. What is your numerator? 1. So we will multiply your numerator, which is 1, by your answer. 1 multiplied by 3 equals 3. 1 multiplied by 1 equals 1. We bring down our whole number and we continue working. 3 plus 1 equals 4. So our answer is 9 and 4/9. Boys and girls, is that the same answer that we had before using the same method? Yes, it is. So whichever method is comfortable for you to do, you can do it. Example 2, 7 3/4 plus 1 5/8. What's the first thing we do? We add our whole numbers. Next, we find the LCM of the fraction. And in this case, the larger denominator is a multiple of the smaller one because we can multiply 4 by 2 to get 8. So therefore, 8 is the LCM. Remember, you can also list your multiple to find your LCM. Next step, we divide the LCM by the denominator of the fractions. What is the denominator in the first fraction? 4. 4 into 8, 2. 2 times 3 plus next denominator, 8. 8 into 8, 1. Numerator multiplied by answer, 5 times 1. Let's go to the next line. 8 as in the whole number. 3 times 2 equals 6. 5 times 1 equals 5. 6 plus 5 equals 11. And we replace our denominator, which is the LCM, 8. So we have a total of 8 and 11 eighths. Boys and girls, could we write this answer on the answer line? No, we can't, because 11 eighths is an improper fraction. So let's convert 11 eighths to a mixed number. How many groups of 8 can you get from the number 11? 1, with 3 remaining. So the conversion of the improper fraction 11 eighths is 1 and 3 eighths. But we have a whole number already. So we add the 2 whole numbers along with the fraction. So 8 plus 1 will give us a total of 9. So our answer is 9 and 3 eighths. Can we write that on the answer line? Yes, we can, because it is the simplest form of writing 8 and 11 eighths. Boys and girls, I hope that you would have understood clearly how to add mixed numbers with unlike denominators. Now here's an activity for you to do. 2 and 1/5 plus 3 and 2/3. Take a minute and get that done quickly. Remember, take your time with your calculation. Use whichever method is most comfortable for you and do neat work. Your work says a lot about you. Let's see what you have. 2 and 1/5 plus 3 and 2/3. Unlike denominators, so we have to find an LCM. What is the LCM of 5 and 3? Did you say 15? Well, that is correct. So let's go. We add our whole numbers. 2 plus 3. We divide our LCM by the denominators of the fraction. 5 into 15, 3. Then we multiply the answer by the numerator. 1 times 3. Plus 3 into 15, 5. Answer, numerator, 2. 2 times 5. Let's do the calculation. 1 multiplied by 3 will give us 3, plus 2 multiplied by 5 will give us 10. Add your whole numbers. 2 plus 3 equals 5. 3 plus 10 equals 13. Our answer is 5 and 13/15. Is that fraction expressed in the simplest form? Yes, it is. So 2 and 1/5 plus 3 and 2/3 is equal to 5 and 13/15. Boys and girls, you have done excellent work today. I want to encourage you to continue studying and continue practicing even after class would have ended. Let's do a quick recap. When adding mixed numbers, we add the whole numbers. We make the denominators common by finding the LCM. Then we work out the problem by adding only the numerators. In the second method, we added the whole numbers. We found the LCM of the denominators of the fraction. That is by listing the multiples of both denominators. We divide the LCM by the denominator of each fraction. We multiply the answer for each by their respective numerator. We add the numerators only, and we make the LCM the denominator of your answer fraction. You have to write your answer in the simplest form on the answer line. That is, you reduce the fractions to lowest terms, or you change the improper fractions to mixed numbers if necessary. So boys and girls, this has brought us to the end of today's lesson. However, we cannot bring the curtains down unless you have the problem of the day. And for our problem of the day, you have a diagram of 4 glasses of milk with different amounts of milk in them. 3 of the glasses, when combined, will result in a whole number. What are the 3 amounts that will give a whole number? You have 4 glasses of milk, but when you combine the measurement of the contents in 3 of those glasses, your result will be a whole number. What are the 3 amounts that will give a whole? Take 2 minutes to get this done, boys and girls. You should be finished by now. Did you choose the glass with 3¼ milliliters and 1⅛ milliliters and 4�5 milliliters? If you did, you are absolutely correct. Let us prove our answer. 3¼ plus 1⅛ plus 4�5. The LCM would be 8. The whole numbers, 3 plus 1 plus 4. 4 into 8, 2. 1 multiplied by 2 plus 8 into 8, 1. 1 multiplied by 1 plus 8 into 8, 1. 5 multiplied by 1. We have a total of 2 plus 1 plus 5. We bring down our whole number and then we add. 2 plus 1 will give us 3. 3 plus 5 will give us 8. 8 and 8 over 8. We know that 8 over 8 represents a whole 1. So therefore, the 8th whole number that we had plus the 1 will give us a whole number of 9. Boys and girls, I hope that you were able to select the correct amounts in the glass that would have given you that answer 9. Boys and girls, thank you for joining us today. I want to encourage you to continue to study to show yourself approved. Remember, it was Nelson Mandela who said, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Boys and girls, I challenge you to continue to be change agents in this world of ours. See you next time.